Well, Father's Day is now just 2 days away, and this morning we wanted to highlight the important role that dads have in their families.
Being a parent is hard work, and it's a role that can be both rewarding and frustrating. Joining us live with some tips on how fathers can empower themselves during tough times is Jesse Bradley. He's a speaker, pastor, former pro soccer player. You've done a lot of things in your life. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Okay, you're a father of 4 teenagers. What has your experience been like being a father of teens?
That's right. It's an honor to be a father because every child is a gift, but sometimes fathers need fresh vision for the fullness of fatherhood. And the 4 elements that I like to highlight are, first of all, connected, because life's about relationships. Nothing's greater than love. And to spend time with your family, listen closely to them, and just enjoy being together. The second, that's invested. Your time, talent, and treasures, serving, being generous, making a difference in your community. My son and I just ran a half marathon, and we did that to raise money for kids in Africa who can have clean water now for the rest of their lives. It was meaningful. We didn't just want to talk about it. We wanted to do something. And the third is rested, which is, yes, to get enough sleep, set limits, set some boundaries. But also for me, the love of God has brought a peace into my life, and it's your inner health. And then the last one's tested. Trials are going to come. They're not going to ask first, knock on the door and be polite. Storms come. So how you respond is a choice. Your attitude's a choice. And when you step up during those trials and you are reliable and you have integrity, you set a legacy and you inspire your kids.
That's great. I think, Jesse, we've seen a lot over the last few generations. And, speaking in generalities, every family is different, obviously. But I think we're seeing this move towards, dads really wanting to share the load and really wanting to be involved in their children's lives and wanting to take a more active role in the family unit. And what's your advice for dads who maybe feel like it's not always easy to connect with their kids or to step into that role?
That's right. And in America, a quarter of the homes, there's no father. So shout out to all the mentors, educators, coaches who have a fatherly role. It takes a community. But for dads, as they step into that role, think about the different dads that are out there and what dads overcome. And the 4 different types, really, some dads have been abusive or absent. And I see so many dads overcome that, change the story in their family. They forgive, there's restoration. And then dads move from average and doing some things really well to even admired. And part of that's that deep connection. Being a father is so much more than some of the compartmentalization of just bringing home a paycheck, doing some work on the house. It's that deep emotional connection. And when you really listen well with your heart, your mind, when you listen to your kids and care for them, a dad's going to bring a couple things. He's going to protect and provide. He's going to be humble and honest. He's going to speak the truth in love. And he's going to give opportunities and support for his kids. And dads are very significant.
Yeah, you talk about making that connection. How do you deal with social media these days, which seems to have taken over so many kids' lives, especially kids that are your kids' age?
That's right. With 4 teenagers, we have a lively home. We like in person. We're kind of the hub in the neighborhood. Kids come over all the time. We've got a few broken pieces in the chandelier and a railing that needs to get fixed. We got Pop-A-Shot in the living room. But yes, they're on their phones, and social media is a big aspect to that. But really, if you put some limits on it, and then it leads to healthy relationships in person, that's the goal. And just spending time with teenagers, it's a different dynamic. I was a goalkeeper, and I feel like I'm in goalkeeper mode with our kids to some degree. A tough one for me as a dad, not just the social media piece, but driving and handing over the keys of the car to my son. But we took a road trip, got a minivan in California, drove back to Seattle. It was through the mountains and the snow. We just tried to make memories. And I think it's that making memories. And the more you have healthy dynamics that are happening in the family, the less the go-to is going to be the phone, but it's going to be there. So just guide your kids like everything. Listen to them, process through it, make good decisions together.
Oh my gosh, you're a brave man to hand over the keys for a road trip with your teen. I can think a lot of the teenage driving memories, not all good. But Jesse, you literally wrote the book on fatherhood. You've got an ebook, 4 Elements of Fatherhood. Tell us a little more about what the book dives into of those 4 elements that you mentioned.
Yes, and the book is free, no fee, as you were just talking about, and dadsandhope.com. And there's reflection questions in there because we live in a busy, noisy culture. There's so many voices and opinions. Sometimes we just need to pull back and get some solitude and reflect. And as we go deeper in those moments, then we can step forward and be intentional. Relationships are about being intentional. And when you're ready to serve, that's when you're going to be at your best. So let's honor dads. Dads are working hard. Sometimes dads are tired and they need some encouragement. So your words this weekend will go a long way. And let dad know how much he means to you. Show the appreciation, send a text, a phone call. And if you spend time with the book, I think you'll be encouraged in this role. It's truly a privilege to be a dad.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor and Speaker Jesse Bradley. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Good to see you, and Emily and Ken. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. If you're looking for some inspiration to help you overcome any gloom, then check out Jesse's website, revivinghope.com. Revivinghope.com.